been brought from another location that we, just for privacy, we weren't able to go to, so it's been brought here on a tilt tray. But I've known this car for about 3 years. It's actually not going well at this point, is it? Hang on, we better chock that wheel or something. Right, round 2, we've got the other side wheel chopped. See if we can drive it away now. Like I say, I've known this thing for quite some time. There we go. I guess we can dissect everything in here later on, but oh, I think what I'll do is I'll try and bolt this door onto it, because I've still got a fair trip ahead of me, so I might get that over to the car. We found some bolts. Under no misconceptions, this thing has been through some shit. We've got 2 different doors. Yeah, there's a lot of alarm bells ringing right now, but anyway, the body numbers tell me it's a Monaro. So we're gonna run with that. It's the worst one ever, but it's a Monaro. I need more hands. Can you just check my body gaps are right, please? They should be about perfect right about now, I think. Oh, they're not quite perfect. Now they are. There clearly is a lot of shit going on here. Rust and the like, but yeah, anyway, there's a lot of shit going on, but this is the only reason I bought it. That right there, and we'll dissect them a bit later on, I think. So I'm under absolutely no misconceptions of this car. It's been through some shit, but those numbers there match that number there, and right at this point in time, that's all I'm concerned about. We'll dissect them after, and that one too, but I can tell you that is a 253, so that is not the original motor. And that bell housing, I can see ribs in the top of that bell housing. Well, no 253s had a turbo pattern. And why I'm saying that is because if you look there, L31's 308, M41 is turbo 400. That ain't no 308 and that ain't no turbo 400. So for now, I'm just going to get this thing travel ready, just so it's, you know, it can travel. And that is perfect. Not bolted in, just sat there on the piss. Maybe I'll get rid of some of the missiles that could fly around on the road. Yeah, other than that, it's perfect, ready to go. Yep, ready to go. They can go there. The other thing, now that we've got the door on it, everything stays inside the car, but this is a bit of an issue. So I reckon we can come across, so I might do some boot gaps. I'll loosen that guy. Well, there's our spare wheel. And some tailpipes, they might come in handy. Oh, and a ton of rust. Yeah, this has been through some shit. That's not HJ. And that's different colour in there. Anyway, let's not dissect everything just yet. Let's get that adjusted over so I can at least push that boot shut, and we'll go from there. Do I need to come out or over? I sort of need to go over. And me being me, I brought one spanner. No, I didn't bring anything. Oh, look at that. I'll never get it open, but it's shut. Oh, geez, they are terrible gaps. I'm going to say it's got no shocks in it too, because it's still bouncing, but anyway, I'll fix that later. Ooh, that would have been nice. Big whip aerial. Are they the original Monaro trims? They're mint if they are. That's about the best door on the car, I think. Don't look at the sill. Don't look. Look away. But there's a guard there and a guard there. Trims there. Another different coloured door there with it's been slightly remodeled. Would that be right? Would it have a grey dash pad with black door trims? Is that black? Oh no, that's grey. This one's going to be a bit of fun. Doesn't look it right now, but I think it's going to be. Even already it's got a certain something to the look of it. Rusty is the look of it. That says 6,209 kilometers, so I'd say it's about 300,000 more than that, but anyway, or maybe 400,000. But then again, I guess it depends on how long it's been off the road. Back in the day, these were worth absolutely nothing. The fact it doesn't have decals, wrong bar, wrong badge, it's perfect for me. It's had a checkered history. Oh, didn't bring WD. Bonnet hinges seized. Get it on, worry about it then. The original guards too. There's no weld. You think there'd be a weld patch? There's not. I hope those other ones are as well. Get it strapped on, Michael. Stop talking. I'm not 100% sure how keen an eye you all had, but a bit of an elephant in this room. I'll get to that later. This thing's had a sketchy past, but that's all right. That makes it perfect for me. Makes it beyond perfect for me. It makes me not feel so bad that it's not mint. It's anything but mint. Come up. Play the game. Oh, thank you. Oh, stuck. Just once, can you buy something that's not a shit box? No, I don't think I can. Bit of work cut out. I'll just find another door, I think, for that one. Because that doesn't have anything in it. No glass, no nothing. I think we're just about ready. Oh, WD, try and get that bonnet down. The problem would be, for me, if this was too good, I don't know if you can hear me for the wind, but if this thing was too good, like if everything was Mickey Mouse perfect, it'd be too expensive for me. This is nice and, well, I won't say cheap, it's a heap more than I normally pay for a shit box like this, but it's for good reason. Those plates and that body number alone make it worth what I paid for it. Even if it has had a sketchy past. You got to remember though, back in the day, these things are worth nothing. I remember a friend of mine used to drive one of these to TAFE, like when we were apprentices. I swear to God, he paid $5 grand for it. And this car was a very, very nice, clean, I think a 253 4-speed, genuine HX, I think Monaro. $5 grand. I wish this was only $5 grand. How times have changed is my point. How times have changed. Sketchy or not, this is the Junkyard GTS. She's now travel worthy. So the elephant in the room, oh, there's plenty of shit going on with that car, but the one that stood out at me is it's got a manual pedal box. And you know, you always go, well, back in the day everyone, you know, bought the auto and went, oh, I want a 4-speed, you know, I want a 4-speed. The bit I'm chuckling to myself about is I've known this car for a long time and it's a lot worse than I remember. Anyway, let's get it home. So I guess the first thing we need to do is break down the fact, did I just find a Monaro? And as far as I can tell, the answer is yes. The breakdown, I guess, on the body plate, I'm not a numbers guy, okay? I usually deal with Belmonts and base models and all that sort of stuff, so I'm bound to mess this up, but to the best of my knowledge, and that's only what Google can tell me, the breakdown of this number, and I'll put the plate off the car here. So the number 8, your first number, it's just saying General Motors Holden. This is the one that I was more so concentrating on when I read the plate, and that's series code or degree of luxury, which that is the next letter. On this car, it is a Q, and Q down here, Monaro GTS. The 69, the numbers following, determines it's a sedan, so GTS sedan. And that's about as far as I really wanted to go. I read that and then read the body number on the plate and the frame number, they're the same. That's good enough for me. Now I have, for you guys that love your numbers, I have actually emailed Holden Historic Services. You basically pay for a birth certificate for the car. If we're lucky, that might be here this afternoon. Then we can break all the rest of it down. The other numbers I'll bring your attention to, and the ones we're probably going to concentrate on, are these ones. Actually, I'll show you what I mean about the body numbers matching first. And that is that number there, AHJ01737S, I think, 5 or an S. And you come down here, and there it is. So frame, matching plate. That plate tells me it's a HJ GTS in a sedan. But these are the numbers I really want to concentrate on right now, and that is engine L31, that's a 308. Trans M41, that's a turbo 400, and axles just GU4, so that's just saying it's a 10 bolt with a I was gonna say a ratio, but I'll probably get it wrong. I think it's 308. We'll see on that one. But here's the issue. That is not a 308 because it says so right there, 253. And the model code on the front of the motor, and again, I'll get this wrong, but I'm used to them having numbers first, which would be day, a letter, which would be month, and then the last number would be year. This is actually back the other way around. I don't know whether this is a real early one or a real late one, but the way I'd read that is the 13 is the day, K is the month alphabetically, and K I think is, what's that, the 11th month. How that works is A is January, B is February, so K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, so 11th month, and the 0, this is the bit I'm going to get wrong, I'm going to say 80, but it could be 70 if I'm wrong with the way these are. The earlier ones I would have thought was, like I was saying, day first, month second, year last. But I'm thinking if this is an 80, did they do it round the other way? Did they have month, day, year? So is this an 80, 13th of the 11th, 1980, 253? Is that what that is? You numbers guys, you'll know. But on that subject, that's not even an automatic. That is a 4-speed. Which sort of brings me back to, remember I said the elephant in the room? That's a clutch pedal. So I reckon this car was in the middle of a 4-speed conversion, and I guess once we get all this junk out of inside it and I see there's a transmission hole or something like that, that'll probably indicate if, or how far we got with this manual transmission swap. And back in the day, that was a bit of a thing. If you wanted to go fast, you swapped the manual into it, because high stall converters, they weren't really a thing back then. They were just starting. You wanted to go fast, you whack a manual in it and step off the clutch as hard as you can. And I tend to think when this was worth nothing, that's what someone started doing, a 4-speed conversion on it, and that's how far they got. I don't know. When I get the junk out, we'll see. So that's where this episode is probably going to differ from all the others. Normally I'd just rip straight into that 253, see if we can get it running, but it's only sat there. It's not even bolted in, it's not plumbed up, so the effort that I'd put in to get that running, I want to pull it out. I actually want to put a 308 and a turbo 400 back in the car. I know I'm not a numbers guy, but I'd like at least it to have the correct motor and transmission combination. I won't say the correct motor, because those date codes I just bollocksed on about, I would have to find a 10th month 74 308 to be the correct month. And in the birth certificate I've got coming from Holden Historic Services, that might even have an engine number. The chances of finding the correct engine, the chances of finding the correct engine number is about 0. The chances of finding the correct month 308, slim. So for now I'm going to settle for just 308 turbo 400. What's the moral of all that bollocks? 253 we're not going to work on. I might check if it rolls over, because I've got the perfect car for that. So that motor you will see again, just not in this car. Anyhow, enough talking. Let's get everything out of inside it and see what we've actually got to work with. I can see here what we've got to work with, and that's a whole heap of crap. But if I can get that door open, then we'll start unloading. Maybe we'll start with getting some seats out, these guards out, and see what else. We've got trims as well. Oh, geez. We've got trims, so I might start there. And a console. I didn't notice that before. What is that on it? Is that a tacho? Let's get it out and find out. It's a bit bent up, but I reckon I'll use it anyway. Well, they're all there because that's got the original trim. I just assumed they were on the doors, but they're different trims, and that doesn't have one, so all trims are there. I'm looking at it like, what is it? No, I know it's an armrest, but I think it's painted. I think it's been painted with vinyl paint. Oh no, that was just dust. Forget it. Forget I said it. I think seat from the other side first. It's in one piece. That was a factory option. Filthy rug. That looks like it was new carpet. Well, that's random. Somebody's bought new carpet for it and never fitted it. And it's falling apart, so Look at the colour of the carpet that's in it. I know why somebody bought new carpet for it. It's blue. A bucket of parts? Oh, you beauty. There's that. We'll get them out. Console there. I don't think any of that is from this car. Door actuators. Oh, that is. That looks like it is. That's a vent. They're XB or something. Anyway, stop dicking about, Mike. Let's get this out. That seat's bolted out. That's about the only thing that's bolted in. I'll start whipping a few of these little odds and ends out. Did you see that? That's the piece of glass just glued over the top of the other one. It works. Piece of glass, piece of mirror, I should mean. Another overrider. A couple of those amazing things. Oh, I put them in there, didn't I? Some old gaskets. Like a later model mirror. Better put that somewhere special. Suppose we've got to attack from this side now. Still got a bonnet hinge on that. I'm interested to see what else is in that box. Let's get these guards out. There is like one bolt in that and it's not even in properly. Yep, one bolt. It looks cross-threaded. I'm sort of going to have to come off anyway, but somebody's done the job for me. Let's get this guard out. No welds. That might not seem exciting to most, but all it means to me is it's you know, it's not a standard guard that's had a GTS flutes put in it. But I think it's a later model car because that mould's not standard, obviously, but those holes for that body mould scream HZ. Same again, they're a matching pair anyway. I've got no shortage of mirrors. What model's that off? Bit of everything in there. Hopefully there's a heap of bolts, odds and ends and bolts in the bottom, but they'll come in handy. Well, I need one of them. And they're vent sort of pieces for there. That's a HQ, the center of the dash between the speedo and that sort of thing. I don't know what they are. Actuators, they're actuators, but I don't know what they're out of then. Nothing this old. So I wonder if the old 253's got his rotor button. We've all done that before. Tried to fire a motor. Oh, he's in there, so it's not out of that one. If you're already starting to feel bad for the 253, don't. I have the perfect car coming up for a 253 and a 4-speed. Well, I'm assuming it's a 4-speed. That could be a 3-speed. Either way, one thing I will ask you, guys in the know, would a Monaro have had, a HJ Monaro, would have had a clutch fan? Or would have had a standard, a fixed blade fan, not a clutch fan? I'll use that if it does have one, or if it's supposed to have one, and get a shroud. If not, we'll worry about that after. So I just say to you, don't feel bad for the 253. Can't help myself. I've got to know if it at least turns over. Come down in here and see if this balancer moves. See how that balancer turns there. I'll take my hand off on this bloody fan for sure. Jeez. Oh yeah. Okay, so it won't go, which way is that, clockwise, but it went anti-clockwise really easy. And gets to there. So there's something, valve train or something's hung up. It's really easy to there. It might have a stuck valve or something. Either way, you'll see that again. Are you following what I'm saying on that one? I know it's not going to be numbers matching, but I want to at least have a 308 and a turbo 400. The correct combination, even though it's not going to be like, month code matching, build date, bollocks, whatever. 308, that's all I'm saying, 308. There's bolts everywhere. I better start collecting them up. I'm gibbering on a bit because my head's going a million miles an hour with what the hell went on with this car. Not that it really matters, it's here now. not that bad. There's no real, you know, obscure rust inside doors or anything, so console, time for console to come out. Let's have a look at this. Okay, you people in the know, was there a difference in the consoles, manual to automatic? And that ain't factory, because it's got a tacho dash. Yeah, was there any difference, manual to automatic? That stripe down the center of the seats, I thought it was grey. It's not. That hasn't been exposed to the weather as much. It's red. This is going to sound way too optimistic. I'm pumped because it's all there. The trims are there. Seats are all there. What else do I need? A 308 and a turbo 400. That'd help. This is going to be so cool. I'll show you this. Surprised me a little. Back seat's pretty good. Here's something that's crossing my mind, right? How long has this thing been parked in the paddock or in a shed? I know when I originally saw it, it was in a shed. But how long has this thing been in this condition for? That new carpet, and that's brand new. It's got no holes for seats or seat belts or anything. Have a look at this. So that's new carpet because it doesn't have holes in it, you know. But look, how long do you have to leave new carpet out in the weather or in the sunlight for it to fall apart like that? So how long has this thing been in the condition it is right now? The other thing I was going to show you, I know this thing's been messed with pretty bad, but it's still got all its like horse hairy insulation. I don't know why that intrigues me, it just does. Okay, so that has actually brought a bit of a smile to my head as well. That's all the window mechanism, you know, the track off the HX. And that's the same colour door as that. All that's missing out of the inside of that door, so there it is there. Oh, there you go. HX, right hand front. I was almost right. I said Z. I said because they had holes in the guards. Here there was Z, but they're X. What is that? Seems important. Another couple of hinges. Heaps of wheel nuts. I'll sift through all this crap, get it out, then we'll knock that seat out. Start stripping what's left of the doors and everything. See what's in the glove box. This might give us some ideas. Here we go. That says September 2002. What's that, an old green slip or something? Certificate of Vic Roads, certificate of registration. they'll come in handy because that was actually missing off the seat. What is that? And a wheel nut. That's a armrest screw. That'll come in handy. More miscellaneous bolts. Screws. See what I can make out of some of this paperwork, eh? Unregistered vehicle permit. Unregistered vehicle permit. Somebody's had to move the car when it was unregistered. Okay, so here's a little bit. Not only do I have a registration number, not only do I have a previous owner's name and address, and I guess I've probably, this is where YouTube collides with reality. I better not show it, if you know what I mean. But the thing that's really making my brain tick is the engine number is not the original engine number. I can tell from the prefix on the engine, even back in, where's this from? Give me a date. 2002. This is also from 2002. It did not have its original engine. Yeah, there you go. So in 2002 this car did not have its original engine. I wonder if that engine number is this one. Well, there you go. If you had any doubt it was a 253, that engine number literally starts with 253. Ends with 817 if you can actually leave your light on, Michael. So this is not the engine that's on those rego number on the rego papers either. The number on the papers ends in 648 and it starts with a different prefix than 253. So she's had a few engines. So what else have we got? Why I say I can tell that engine number is not the right one, and again, I'm no expert, you experts tell me. This engine number starts with QR. Well, the internet tells me this car, if the wind doesn't drown me out, but the internet tells me that this car should have a QT prefix at the start of the engine number. So it's not the right motor. What's all that mean? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Doesn't mean a damn thing. Not to me anyway. So in 2001 the previous owner lived at a different address. He must have moved in 2002. That's 2001 rego paper. Okay, here's some interesting crap. This is a certificate of title. The Transfer of Land Act. Dated the 3rd of April 1968. It's got a lot and DP, lot 2 of plan subdivision number. Again, probably shouldn't give the number, but it is in East Ballarat. If you're looking for your certificate of title, it's in the glove box here, Monaro. There's something different. What am I going to do with all that? I don't know. Nothing. So I guess all I could really take out of all that paperwork is its last rego was 2002. The unregistered vehicle permit was from 2002, so it was unregistered and needed to be moved somewhere in 2002. So 23 years. 24 because it's 26 now, isn't it? Happy New Year. It has literally taken me longer to get one bolt out of this seat than anything else I've done today. That was a nightmare. Geez, I get distracted easy. It's like, oh, look, a bird. No, it's got a power antenna. And rear to mist, that's what the other button is. Have a look at this. Power antenna, rear to mist. Standard or options? I don't know. Brand new. But GTS dashes come with the tacho. What's you got? 5.5 red line. And you got your cool little fuel temp, oil pressure and battery gauges. And of course your awesome GTS steering wheel. That's brown. So's that. So's that. Just gets sketchier and sketchier. Anyway, I'll keep battling with this seat. Oh, thank God for that. Couldn't get to the bolts. You could turn them like an 1/8 of an inch. That was sucking my will to live. But the seat's out now. Well, it's undone. Let's get it out. Scratch my door. Righto, so how much rust do you reckon? That's right, I bought it and never actually checked the floors in it. There's a key out of something, anyway. Geez, I've gone to town on the sound deadening. No wonder those seats were so hard to get out. The thickness of that underlay and then that carpet was killing me. Oh, you little ripper. No rust. Probably spoke too soon, but oh, I'm taking that as a win. Let's have a look at the other side. Oh, come on. Don't breathe in, don't breathe in. Only exhale. Good. Well, there's enough ants to last me a lifetime, but as far as rust goes, tiny bit there and there. Might whip these out. They've been out too. That's not even tight. Ants. Even that floor's pretty good. Run for your lives, boys. You're going to get pressure cleaned hard. I'm absolutely stoked with that. There's not a single hole in the floor. Not one. Little bit of surfacey stuff there that I showed you before. I'm literally going to wash that down, maybe treat it and paint it. Not now, because it's filthy, but I'll pressure clean this thing within an inch of its freaking life. Righto, stop talking. I've got 2 door trims to get off, 3 door trims to get off, and then we're going to take the doors off that one and those two, I'm going to whip them off. This will probably sound a little bit insane, but follow me on this one. I want to pull that door off, that one, because I'm probably going to have to try and find another door. It's shit, like shitter than the rest. But the other ones, I'm actually going to paint them inside, so when it goes back together, yes, it'll be patina, and I'll address that in a second. I can see you shiny paint guys already getting your back up. When it goes back together, it's all the same colour but patinaed, right? And before you shiny paint guys go crazy, this is just the first step. I usually make a car earn the right, so you get it to run. It's now earned the right to get it to drive. Once it drives, it's earned the right for some rust or whatever. This one I'm doing right completely round the other way. I'm going to get the body ready to accept me putting the effort into a 308. Does that make sense? The more I look, the more I like it. Oh, the scuffs are missing. There, they're missing. I just realised that. I'm looking around going, oh, more I like it, and then it's like, oh, except some parts are missing. Don't ruin the one good trim, Michael. Jeez, I think I'm gonna. There we go. There we go. This wind is driving me nuts. It's blowing all the ant house and rat turds into my face. It's like a roofing screw. That also doubles as, you know, a door trim thing. What am I undoing that for? You're an idiot. There's one bolt in this and I start undoing it from the hinge. It's been a long day. Exciting day though, I'm pretty pumped with this thing. No rust in the floors. That's 100% cross-threaded. That's not exciting. I hope you can hear me because the wind is really starting to pick up, but I've almost got him stripped out to the point where I want to stop. I did take the Bailey channels, the door rubbers, the trims, and that door off the other side, that guy there, because it was barely bolted on anyway, and just all the internals out of that one too, the rubbers and Baileys. We'll replace them as we go. And as I say, I'll paint inside these two doors, just so that, oh, let's not look at that. We'll paint inside these doors, so when I put him back on, at least it's all the same colour, or a similar shade of the same colour. But tomorrow is just nothing but pressure cleaning, I'd say. So I'm about 11 hours into a 10-minute job, and that back edge of the boot still needs to come out and the whole boot needs to go back. Those hinges, I'd say, have been forced up and stretched. Can you even hear me? The wind is getting horrendous. What I was saying was, from being forced up, the hinge is stretched out like that, so the whole thing's this way. And then they've bashed in these corners of the boot to try and make them line up with the tail light. So I'm trying to pull them out, take the boot back, but I've ran out of adjustment and I've butchered that hinge and I still can't quite get there. But I think all I've got to do now is elongate those holes just a little bit, but I don't have a die grinder. It went underwater and rusted solid. I don't know what this wind's doing, but I think I'll just about give up on that one today until I get a die grinder. We'll chuck him up on jack stands, wheels off. I think that's it for the day. Let's get him on stands. discs. Always look like they had their fun with this one before they pulled the motor. Anyway, so I probably didn't get quite as far as I would have liked to today. Oh, stop whinging, Michael. No, we didn't do too bad really, but the seat, that driver's seat, that, no word of a lie, that took me an hour to get out. The rusted head of that bolt was so far into the carpet and the underlay, and it's rounded off. Anyway, took too long. That's what I'm getting at. Boot gaps, they're not perfect. Need a die grinder to route them out. They're going to be fine. Tomorrow is all about pressure cleaning. Everything. Just pressure clean the guts out of it. I'm going to try and get, tomorrow's about cosmetics, because I'm going to try and get that dent out as well. Just push that out a bit. Figure out what I'm going to do with the paint work, whether I sand on it, clear it, or sand on it and then penetrol it. Either way, I want the car, when it goes back together, to look like I'm ready for a motor. That's the goal. Of course that means pull the motor out as well, but I've got a fair sort of a list now of things I can get. Number one, tyres. This time of year is hard for parts, but anyway, tyres was one. Bailey channels, door rubbers. Don't ask why I'm doing them, I just am. Carpet, that's a big one because it doesn't come overnight. It's the sort of thing you got to wait for, so that might be the hold up on the inside. But if I get everything pressure cleaned tomorrow and get inside of those doors painted, at least we can get the doors going back on. Then motor out. Little things like I can start cleaning up, what are they called? Your headlight surrounds. Pull the bars off. Just get it cleaned. Start from that point. Oh, I'll show you the reason I'm adamant that I want to go back to a 308. Number one, because of the plate. Number two, I've already bought one. I actually bought this car a few months back and I just hadn't got around to going out and getting it. So I was looking for a 308 with a model somewhere around where it should be. I didn't find one. Found a 308, but I'll show you why I bought it. Come inside, although the wind's starting to die down now, but come in, I'll show you this 308. So this is the garbage that I've bought for it. And it is a 308, as you can see there. And as far as year model, it's not the right model. It's the 20, this is the way I understand these codes to go. 21st day, K is the 11th month, and 6 is 76, so it's the 21st of November 76 at what? At 1 o'clock. See, that's a little clock there, 12 there, so it's 1. That's how I understand deciphering that bollocks there. But let me explain the reason I bought that pile of crap you see in front of you. There's actually a little bit of hidden value in the junk that I've bought. And that is, it's all been machined, ready to roll, ready to reassemble. I know it still doesn't look great. It's better than, put that head down. It's better than, I guess, if I bought something just sitting in a corner. Don't know if it's good, bad or indifferent. At least with this I can go through it start to finish. Look at this. The bottom end's been mock assembled, but look, it's been bored and honed. A little bit of surface rust. It's just been chucked together, I guess, to check bearing clearances and stuff like that, and then they never finished. You can actually see it's going to need another hone, but believe it or not, those pistons are brand new. Need a clean up. It's been chucked under a tarp in a container, hence where all the surface rust has come from. But I should be able to disassemble it. If I just flip it over, I'll show you underneath as well. I'd say they started putting it together. I actually undid one of these main caps. Which one was it? Anyway, they started putting it together, I guess, to check bearing clearances and that sort of thing, and that's as far as it got. So I'm literally going to disassemble it, clean it all up, and put it back together. And we've got, I don't know, essentially a kinda rebuilt 308. Anyway, it's going to be better than just some junk. So there's a little bit of value in it there, and I didn't pay crazy money for it either. And you can see on the bottom of the head too, it's been skimmed. I'm going to have to clean up a little bit of surface rust. You know, it's better than the crap I normally deal with. That's for certain. But one of the other reasons I actually grabbed it is it came with an aftermarket brand new camshaft. Again, it's been sitting, so it's got a little bit of surface rust, but aftermarket camshaft, you're probably looking at $400 or $500, so I didn't pay much more for the whole thing. So if I can clean that up, and I have already started on that one, the other one's got a little bit of surface rust on them, but it hasn't been pitted. So did I say I nicknamed this the Junkyard Monaro? So now we really are putting some junk in it. Although, I don't know. If it cleans up nice, it's got new bearings in it. It's got a box of rings there, brand new rings to go in it. It is 60 thou over. I don't know how many cubic inches that makes it, but aftermarket camshaft, 60 thou over, skimmed heads, it'll go okay. I'm not really concerned, to be honest. I just want it to go. I don't care how well it goes. Just run. And that's a crow cam. Where did I see that? Yeah, on the end of it, the crow cam. For you numbers guys, it is a, oh my god, I can't even read it, 603. And I looked up that part number. It's nothing elaborate, it's just a little street cam. I think the power band was like 2,000 RPM to 5,000 RPM, so it'll just be a nice little cruiser. But that is why I'm not going to waste my time on the 253, because by the time I actually correct its posture, it's in there on the piss, bolt it in, plumb it up, fire it up, I could have that ready to go in. Anyhow, that's it for today. Pressure cleaning in the morning, order parts tonight, pressure cleaning in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, I know, see you in the morning. Can't help myself. That's just a little Scotch-Brite pad. I'm just keen to see how it's going to come up. I don't know about you, but I reckon that's going to come up just fine. I'll pull everything back down, of course, and check everything out, but everything essentially is new, just not assembled and sat in a container, and unfortunately the humidity in a container, that's the result. So now we're an engine building shop. Nope, not even close. I'll see you in the morning. So the most part of today, I think, is going to be sweeping up and then just pressure cleaning everywhere. Scotch-Briting the glass, because the glass has got all this, I don't know, crud all over it, and the only way to get that off is literally degreaser and Scotch-Brite. Just do the whole window, the chrome. Sweep up, as I said. And then just belt the Christ out everything, inside the doors, the whole lot. As I said, I took all the Bailey channels and that sort of thing out, ready for some new ones. Just get all that garbage out of everywhere. Getting back to a clean start, and then we'll figure out what are we going to do with that dent. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to try and get it out the best of my ability. We're going to bolt that back on. That's not even attached. Maybe redo a couple of these, and then something with these doors, recolor inside them so that when they go back on, at least they're a similar color to the car. And then I guess we'll try and blend in the outside. I'm going to leave that though, that's, you know, character. Alright, I'll stop talking and start pressure cleaning. It's going to be a full day, I think. Oh, and maybe, just maybe, tyres might turn up. It's January the 2nd, so the chances of them turning up are slim, but if they turn up, maybe I can get some tyres on, if something's open to fit them, I guess. Anyway, we'll see where the day takes us, see how far I can get. This thing just keeps getting crazier and crazier. I just started to see this under the floor when I'm pressure cleaning and going, well, that's green. So I googled jade green metallic. That's the original colour. That's been repainted. And now everywhere I look, like the parcel tray and the floor and the door hinges, they're all got jade green underneath them, so that's not even the right colour anymore. It's just in actual fact, those two spare doors are closer to the original colour. There's more there. Closer to the original colour than what's on it. There you go. She's sketchy. Man, she's got some crap in her. As stupid as it sounds, it actually puts my mind at ease a little bit to find that dark green everywhere. It wasn't until I started knocking a bit of the dust and stuff off that I started thinking, geez, I don't know if I'd call that jade green. It's more like a jade blue. And then you start pressure cleaning going, there's a green. Googled it. It ain't jade green, but there's evidence that... I did initially think, has this had a body swap? You know, is it up the front frame and the numbers are all right? Did it get hit in the back, swap the back? But no, that's the original body. Even like there's paint on the dashboard of this colour. So the dash hasn't even been out. Crazy. Original door, jade green underneath the paint. Wild. I'm literally pressure cleaning more colour off. Look at this. There's our jade green, where they haven't rubbed on the hinges. There it is in the body. There it is in the body. There was more inside this door. Look. And these days we all get like, oh, why would you do that? Why would you change the colour of a collectible car? But you've got to remember, and I know I've already said it, it wasn't that many years ago, these were worth nothing. They weren't collectible. They were just an old car. And changing the colour could be as simple as preference. The guy just liked whatever that is. That blue, I'm going to call it a blue metallic. So now I was going to get some colour mixed up to do inside those, ironically, green doors that are closer to the factory colour. I'm just going to go through my paint cupboard. I had an F100 that was kind of similar to this. I'll see if I can't butcher something up just enough to put inside the doors. Maybe patina this one, I don't know. Anyway, stop talking. That's going to make it perfect. Not perfect. I'm just mucking around with these doors trying to gap them up, and to the best of my ability I've nearly got to where I'm happy with it. One bit of advice I can give you is take your strikers completely out. Reason being, if you're trying to line them up and it's hitting the striker and sending the door up or down, you could frig around with it all day, you're never going to get it. I've got that line pretty right. That one's not too bad. It's sitting out because it's not quite closed. That one's a bit shit, but I think it's the guard to come down. That's right, I'm gapping this junk. The one thing I do have to do is, you see the door at the top's pretty good and it sits out there. So I've got to take this hinge here. I've got to undo those three and take that door in a little on that hinge. This hinge is right, but just see if I can sneak the bottom of that door in. Why are you trying to gap this garbage, Michael? I don't know. If I'm going to try and make it look like it was all one car at one stage, blend this in a little bit until we do the rust. I will do the rust. I guess, I don't know, I just wanted to make it look like it could have all been one colour, one car. Get the gaps as best as I can. Had the door off anyway, had to put it back on, may as well gap it. I am taking today pretty casually in my Crocs and bucket hat. Hot day, pressure cleaning, perfect job for today. It's that warm, I reckon my seats will nearly be dry. The downside of that is I have no carpet to put them back in. I have that other new carpet, but even I got to draw the line somewhere. I'd started hitting the corner of it with a pressure cleaner and there's no carpet left, so I'll just wait for carpet. That might be the hold up. That might be what slows this one up. Oh yeah, none of the other shit, just the carpet. Yeah. I would have loved to have put my seats back in today. Instead, I think I'll start sanding on it for the rest of the day. See what I mean? I've got that catch too low. That's just pulled the door down. You'll never gap them if you have your strikers dragging your door around as you're shutting it. That'll do me. I thought I had another door. Turns out it's a HQ door. So, desperate times, desperate measures. geez, I'm not showing you that. So much better. It's not much better at all. That's all I've got though. So I'll just keep plodding along with it. Call me crazy, but I actually just want to put a bit of colour inside that door, and I've got a couple of colours to work from. This is all I've got, so I guess I'm going to try and see what I can come up with. I've got a blue, I think that was the Statesman, which that needs a lot more green. I've got this one, which this one is a bit more green. That's probably the one I'm going to start with, I think. Maybe not. And then I've got a green, like a proper green. So I think somewhere in the middle there, and adding a bit of silver, I think I can get somewhere not even close. So I'm going to try and do that. This is going to take me forever, okay? So I'll see you in maybe an hour, 10 minutes, whatever. Might spray it out and see. I think it needs more black. One big no-no when you're matching metallics is adding white. White doesn't make it go lighter, it makes it go milky, but that's what I needed. So I actually just added a ton of white. Not a ton, just a bit. Just to see if I could wash it out a bit. Let's go and have a look. See there? See how it's a bit whiter, a bit lighter? Had to wash it out. If I had anything to add to that, I would say a little bit more green. Don't know if I care. Let's see in the sun. See what I mean about a bit more green? I'm going to chuck just a touch more green in it, and I'm going to call it good. Get your shadow out of the way, Mike. It'll do for patina anyway. Oh geez, she's light that way. It'll do. So it probably doesn't say a lot for me as a person when I say I enjoyed every second of that. Probably doesn't look like I did, but I did. It's always the little baby steps towards the bigger picture, and I mean, I've pressure cleaned that thing within an inch of its life, and already, I mean, have a look at the dash. It cleaned up pretty good. The steering wheel not so much, but I learned something about them. I pulled up for 5 minutes for lunch and I googled getting that repaired, but I found aftermarket ones are just not that expensive, but there's different splines. I actually have to remove that wheel, check what spline is on it, then order the correct wheel, and I'm not sure whether it differed from HQ through HZ or whether it was because of the Tiranas. Did they have a similar wheel? Well, they had a similar wheel. Did they have a different spline in the same type of wheel? They're different is my point, that's all. And I have decided I am going to sand this thing and I am going to clear coat it, only acrylic clear. acrylic because I can blend back into it very, very easily when I come to do the rust. But for now, I want to get it sanded, clear coated, and then in my head, probably not in everyone else's head, but in my head, then I've isolated it to most panels are finished. I'll put the badges on, I'll put the GTS decals on, and when it comes to it actually drives under its own power, then I've only got that sill rust to do and a little bit in the dog leg, bottom of that guard, bottom of the guard, and the quarter panel. That's probably the worst, the quarter panel on that side. So I guess it diminishes the size job. I try to keep it small in my head, and it doesn't feel so massive and overwhelming. Anyway, oh, certificate. The certificate, the birth certificate, the historic, oh, I can't think of the thing. Let me get it. Production report. That's what I'm trying to think of, not a certificate. Vehicle production report. This is a photocopy because I'm grubby. The original is up inside, and I will put it up somewhere here so you can all read it. But if you go through it, it's just saying HJ GTS sedan, pre-build data, so model, body number, jade green. We now know that that's not jade green, that's jade green. But like I said, that actually put my mind at ease there for a bit, because I thought, has this thing been rebodied or whatever? It hasn't. That's the original body, because it's still got the original colour all the way through it. Something sketchy's going on. Maybe just a 4-speed. I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop crapping on about that. Turbo 400. Oh, no, I've jumped. Chassis number, production builders 1074, says that. We knew that. 4-door sedan, we knew that. It actually has the engine number there. And I was correct. It should have a QT prefix. Not, what was the other one? What's that one? Whatever it is. No, it was the old Rego papers. The old Rego papers had QR or something on them. Anyway, I can't think right now. It's late in the day. Steering, variable, ratio, power, brakes, power assisted front disc. Okay, that pretty much tells me I did think that disc rear was out of something else. Clearly it is, because it literally specifically says front. 3.08 Salisbury. Well, if that's been swapped, we don't know if that's right. What else is interesting? Selling date July 75. It was built 10th 74. Warranty start July 75. Now here we go. This is the bit that interests me. Credited selling dealer, GMH sales and PR, advertising and merchandising. What does that mean? Somebody out there knows what that means, and it makes more reference to it down the bottom. It says used in-house by GMH in Victoria 9 months past prior to the warranty start date. What does that mean? Used in-house. Was it a media car, maybe a demo? Did one of the wigs at Holden drive it? I don't know. If I get confident, I'll put up the Rego number that I have and see if we can get some more history on it. Oh, this is the bit. This is the bit. Remember I was saying it's not the original colour? I got sidetracked. It's not the original colour interior either. The dash is right, because I googled a jade green Shamus interior car and it still had the grey dash. Shamus cloth trim combination, which means not only has this car been repainted different colour at one stage, I'd say she's been retrimmed, had the interior swapped. Maybe somebody didn't like the Shamus is like that. It's like beige. I don't mind it. Actually, the car that I googled and looked at it, I actually didn't mind it at all with the dark green. I don't know about it with this blue, but enough banging on about the numbers. You know the numbers that are important to me? That one there. Yes, we found a GTS Monaro. Now let's just get it on the road. See you in the morning. So this time of year, the Christmas and New Year period, it's all about catching up with family and things like that. And yesterday I did exactly that. My family actually took me to lunch, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give myself the day off. I'm going to put on my favourite wife beater, sit next to the pool and do absolutely nothing. And here's what I learned from that. Two things. Number one, I don't sit still very well. And number two, I am way overdue for a haircut. But anyway, here's what we got done. So here's where we're up to. I thought I had another door. Turns out I do not. It was a HQ door. So I've gapped this one to the best of my ability, but you see it's wide here and wide here. That's because when it was hit in the middle, it's actually pulled the door in. So the actual frame is bent. I'm not going to bother with it. I've got the top of the frame fitting. I've got the door kind of, you know. Anyway, let's not talk about it. And we stripped off the front. I'm just going to clear coat the whole thing, but before we do, I actually want to start trying to blend in these two doors. I'll get the patina looking, you know, I won't say okay, I'll get it looking adequate. Adequate is good enough. Then once I've done that, and that blue sort of carries through right through those doors, I'll rewash it down and get all my rubbing sludge off it and get ready to clear coat it. It's way too hot right now though. Because I'm going to do this in acrylic lacquer, it dries really fast in direct sun, or if it's a hot day, and that sounds like a good thing, but no, you've got to thin it down probably too much, and you've got to really pump it on, and I don't want to do that because if it starts biting into this old paintwork, it'll fry it up and it'll just be a mess. It won't look patinaed, it'll just look crap, and we can't have it looking crap. Anyway, so I'm going to get those doors done. The heat will help me dry them, then wash it down, the heat will help me dry that, and then start masking it and do it last thing this afternoon as the day cools right down, and that way we might be able to get a nice semi sheen to the acrylic. If I did it now, it's going to end up almost furry. It'll dry that quick. It'll be basically almost coming out stripy. It's instantaneous type of stuff. Anyway, stop babbling and get something done. Let's start into the color on these doors. One thing, if you're masking patina, or if you're attempting patina, make your masking completely substandard and inadequate, because otherwise everyone will have nothing to shit on you about, and you won't get the joy of cleaning up paint when it's all over your glass and everything. So do the worst job you can. I will leave this section easy to get at for checking my color, because I know I checked it yesterday or day before, but when you start clear coating it, it'll brighten it up. So I think I'm going to have to add more black to get it as dark as that. But anyway, let's just wing it. We'll start and we'll see where we end up. Up here I'm going to get creative though. See all these blotches? I want to actually add a contaminant, so hopefully I can get some of this primer to come through just by spraying a little bit of water on there. It might not work because it's that hot. I'd say that water's going to evaporate instantly, but anyway, I'll try. So follow me now and let's see if this works. Okay, so I've tipped my blue out that we kind of color matched, but I didn't clean my gun, and I've added a heap of silver, so this is going to come out a real silvery blue. That's all one word, silvery blue. You can't make up words like that, Michael. Not on a Sunday, you can't. You can make up words on Monday when you've got to go back to work and you call in sync. What do you have? The Bahuba stanker? Sounds terrible. It was awful. But anyway, we'll see if this will work. I'm going to put a coat across the top here where I want to rub through. Like, the reason I'm putting light silver is you see on the bonnet and that where it's worn away, it's a lot more silver showing, or the metallic showing. So if I put some through here, then I'm going to put out my water on the patches that I want to look like primer coming through, and none of it will work, but we'll have a go anyway. Mental note, clean out your gun. I'm actually going to put another coat on just to get that covered, then I'll do my contaminants. Here we go, see what we can mess up. So I'm going to do that, right? Come in closer, see if we can see. So I'm just going to go, and while the water's on there, just try and blend it. Just try and blend it. So when I wipe that water off, it'll have little... No, dried too quick. Damn it. I was so sure that was going to work. Anyway, I might just rub through. Fail. Try again. Maybe I should try it now with the blue. That's what I'll do. Try it with the blue. Let's move on to our blue. I'm going to have a go at this. So hopefully now when I wipe that bit, the silver or the primer will show through. I want it to look blotchy and shit out. I'll give that a second. You reckon this has worked? No, it's too hot. It is literally too hot to do that. God damn it. Let's see what the colour looks like. I'm not hating the colour. Not at all. Right, I'll put a little bit more down there. I'll sort of leaving that in case the colour was crap, but maybe I'll darken it a fraction. Anyway, let's keep going. And now I've added a bit of black to make it blacker blue. Again, all one word. Can also be used with a hyphen. Blacker blue. Top quality work, I know. You know when you see those shows on the internet and everything's just perfect and mint? Well, that means you're not here anymore. So you've changed the channel, so come on back. I'm reusing masking. That's just sent sketchy to an all-time low. And sticking it to my fresh paint. We're going to sand it anyway. I better hurry up and paint that before it all comes unstuck. Oh, too late. Don't worry about up here just yet. I'll get to that. We're going to black that. I masked up my big deep gouge that went up through the door. The only bit I'm disappointed with, well, the whole car, but the only bit I'm disappointed with is that there. Anyway, I'll see how it works out when I start sanding on it. The only bit I'm disappointed in. This is the only bit I've got to be kind of careful with. I'm going to use a fairly fine paper in an 800 because I haven't put a lot of paint on. It's going to come off really quick, and I don't want it to look too deliberately sanded. Is that a thing? I'll see if my contaminant, oh, maybe it is working a little. This bit here is bugging me. I keep going back to it. What, just that bit? Not all the rest? Nah, that's fine. It's just that bit there. So here's one I didn't expect. I'm just starting to mask. Worst masking ever. But we've been getting some cracking afternoon storms, and I can hear one coming out there now. So I'm going to have to chuck the wheels back on, as bad as they are, and wheel them into this shed before we start getting wet. It'll probably work okay though, because if it cools down, that'll work nice with my acrylic clear. So we won't take it as a total negative. I'll just get it in before I finish masking. Did I say this time of year is all about hanging out with family? Well, the family helped me push it in. And I think we might have got in just in the nick of time, because I can just hear that thunder rolling in the background there. You watch. Now that I've got it in here, we won't get a speck of rain. But if I had left it there, I guarantee it would have pissed down. Anyway, we'll see. I'll keep my masking going. I'm not going to mask headlights and brackets and things like that. The one thing it does change, I'm not going to be able to wash it down, so I'm just going to have to give it a real good prep sol, just with a wiping on with one rag, wiping off with the other. It'll probably be easier to see what I'm doing in here too under the fluoros. But anyway, let's stop gas bagging. Let's get it done. It's only a light sprinkle, but it would have been enough to stuff it up, so I'm glad I moved. We're nearly there. Just a few little pieces to touch up, and I can start basically cleaning this down with Prepsol. Obviously I'm not going to bother masking those amazing. Oh, forgot to tell you, my tyres are here. They showed up. I've got them there. So first thing tomorrow morning, tomorrow is Monday. They showed up yesterday on my day off, but tomorrow's Monday, so hopefully I can get them on these rims, get those rims cleaned up and get him rolling. Well, rolling now, you know what I mean. So Prepsol, or wax and grease removing, is just wipe him on with a damp cloth. Don't saturate it, because it just gives you more that you've got to dry off. You have to get it off, or dry it off, because if you leave it on there, it can actually act as a contaminant. Well, there's the thing for you, other than I just dropped my lid into plenum. But yeah, that's right. Your cleaner can actually become a contaminant. If you just wipe it on like that and leave it, it can leave a bit of a film behind. So wipe him on with one rag, do small areas at a time, and then dry it off. And change this rag frequently. And that ends today's tuition. This is going to look so shit. Great. I meant great. So we've got a couple of things to talk about. Number one, you can still hear it sprinkling. If this was a good job, you're not going to do it. Humidity in the air equals humidity blisters in your paint eventually. There's that. The second thing is, I don't really have anything covered or whichever. That's the difference between using acrylic and using 2-pack. An acrylic lacquer dries really quickly, as I was saying, out in the sun. Even now, it's still probably 30 degrees. It'll dry in the air and settle as dust. So if a bit settled on the FB windscreen or a tool, it'll settle as dust. 2-pack on the other hand, because it's a two-part, two-component paint, you mix a hardener with it, it'll travel, it dries slower. Sit on whatever it is, then harden. And that's when you get the overspray that's like running your hand over a sandpapery, you know, over glass or whatever. So not a concern with overspray. Don't do it when it's sprinkling / raining. Stop talking, Michael. Just stop talking. I've thinned this fairly heavily, 50-50. I rarely, whatever you read, right, it'll say acrylic lacquer, thin at 50-50. I've never thinned at 50-50. I never quite get to that point. This, I probably have. It is quite warm. I'm not going to pump it on. I'm just going to let it flow in. Let's get into it. Okay, maybe we've got more things to talk about. Just trying to set my gun up a bit. This is actually a primer gun, or it's a gun I use for 2-pack primer. You want to get into setups, this has got a fairly big one. I don't know what it is, like 1.8 or something. The reason I'm using this is get a little bit more fluid on there. Testing my pattern doesn't feel super wide, but all we're going to do is, with that far, about a handspan, that far away from the panel, and we're just going to overlap half of the, if that's your fan width, you're going to come down half, so you're going to go drop down, like that. We'll see how this goes on. Remember I said it dries fast and it dries like dust? Look at this. I've literally just finished going around it. I can wipe my hand over it and you can see the acrylic overspray dust. If you painted back over that now, that'd just blend back in with the thinners. That's second coat. I'm contemplating a third. I think I've got enough. Clear that is. So I reckon I'm going to put a third on it. My favourite wheels. I know I can't put them on this car. The GTS wheels have got to stay, but they are my favourite wheels. I have sets and sets of them. I'm an overachiever when it comes to those wheels. This is another good thing about acrylic lacquer too. I literally just finished that and I'm unmasking. That is one thing I really do like about doing it in acrylic lacquer. That's unmasked, I know, less than an hour after I've painted it. Or clear coated it. I haven't painted anything, but I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I don't hate the semi-gloss. My doors didn't come out too bad. They look weathered on the top there. Some shit going on there. And I masked up my scratch. I don't know what did that, but it deserves to stay. I'll tell you what we do need. Rear springs. Bloody hell. I have got one last, I'm not going to say it's a rant. I want to give you non-patina guys a train of thought, and maybe you can come around to my way of thinking. I'm not saying do your car patina. You do whatever you want to do with your car. But the reason I like patina is exactly what happened yesterday. My family took me for an early birthday lunch because my actual birthday is a couple of weekends away and we're going to be elsewhere celebrating another friend's birthday. So we're just trying to squeeze things in. It's like a time management thing. In between that, I've spent what, 2 days? A day cleaning it out. Maybe a day and a half patinaing this thing. And you guys in the know, tell me how wrong I am when I say to restore that car, are we talking 60, 70, maybe 80 grand? A paint job these days, to strip that, the time that I've spent on that, I would not have 1/4 panel ready for primer. So the time management and the money management for me is probably more important. I want to get it running, I want to put it back on the road, but if I had 60 or 70 or 80 grand, I'd probably put that into my mortgage so I didn't have to work anymore, or I could shorten the period of time that I had to work. So it is definitely a money management thing. My kid is not going to sit in the passenger seat of that, running down the road, listening to this 308 and give two shits whether it's shiny paint. That came out of a paddock with a great story. Geez, Michael, you're getting passionate. Yeah, I know. But realistically, this car will outlast me. It's not going to drop dead. So when I'm done with it, somebody else can step up, spend the 100 grand on it, make it amazing. But right now, I just want this running and driving. Doing it that way. See, I'm still going. I'm on the rant now. I'm on the rant. Doing it that way, I look at that now and I'm ready to start putting parts back in it. The door locks, the mirrors, the decals. I got Monaro badges, decals for the quarter. The tyres are here, which I showed you. I'll do that in the morning. But I can hear it. I can see it running down the road. I can visualize it running down the road, and I can hear that 308. And that's the bit that's going to keep me get up in the morning, get it done, get it on the road. It's when you blast them apart into a million pieces. It's collectible, it deserves a restoration. Yeah, maybe. But when you blast it apart to give it that full restoration, you can't see it anymore, you can't visualize it anymore, and life gets in the way and the project goes like that. Either that or you end up waiting on people. The panel shop's not ready, or it's, you know, they're taking too long, or whichever. I am literally ready to start putting shit back into that car. Ugly as it is, I get it, it's ugly. But it was in a paddock a week ago. Am I wrong? Maybe. So you die-hard Monaro guys, just before you hit the keyboard and start shitting on me about the car deserves better, just try to think of it like that. The car's gonna get better. Like, every day I work on it's gonna get better, and if I ever choose to sell it, it'll be to somebody who wants to restore it. But right now for me, I've pulled out of a paddock. I'm gonna get it running down the road. What better could it possibly want? I guarantee you that heap of crap there is not going to complain. Anyway, rant over. See you in the morning. So it's actually 2 days later, and not to try and sound like a broken record on the time management thing, but my son and I had a bit of a half day on the car yesterday where we polished up the bumper bar. Here's a pro tip when you're dealing with absolute rubbish. See, when you polish your terrible bars up, you can't get in around those bolts. Well, the way to get them clean, little wire brush. Like a new one. Masked off and repainted the grille. Picked the windiest day on record to try and do this. More paint hitting my shirt than on the bloody grill. I did send the tyres across to get fitted to the rims, so I've got rims and tyres now. And even managed right at the end of the day just to get the floor painted black with just some underbody subframe black, just so I could start sitting the seats back in. I am still waiting on new carpet, and I don't think it's going to make it here for this episode, but I just want to get the seats in there, maybe get the door trims on today. But anyway, it's looking a bit different is my point. Looking a bit different with the front back together. I've got the headlight surrounds paint strip. I just got to sand them and paint them today, and we did get the new rubber on. So I think today is locks, just start fitting out the doors with new rubbers. That one needs window and mechanism and all that sort of thing. And yeah, you know, anyway, we'll stop talking and we'll start into it. I don't have any little help up here this morning, so I'm on my own. You get a bit better look around it out here. And I don't hate how my colour came up, blending those doors together. It's sitting a bit nicer on those rims too. 235/60 I think I put on the back. Yeah, 235/60 on the rear and 215/65 on the front. So a little bit narrower, but the 65 gives it the same profile as the rear. Just repainted the black, polished up that bar, but we've still got a long way to go. Probably where I'll start today is I've got fresh door locks and fresh ignition barrel, can't even talk, and Bailey channels and door rubbers. Bailey channels I'll whack in first, I think, get that sorted, and then we can get trims on. Then we'll move on to this horrendous mess, which it needs the complete interior, or complete inside the door done. So actually I might get familiarised with that one and then come across to this guy. Fitting Bailey channels is not the hardest job in the world. That's all they are, just a bit of folded over rubber. So I'm just putting a bit of WD on the end and just sort of feeding him down into that channel. Poking him in and sliding him down. When you get to your corner, so there, just put a couple little nicks about 5mm apart. Patiently. Just like that, just so it can go around that corner and just expand a little. If you actually have a look up into the corners of factory doors, they will have little cuts in them. I just thread him down in there till I get to the window. Then I'm going to wind the window up into the channel, then wind it down and pull the excess down. See how well this works, or not. So just grab the bottom of it there now. Well, it worked. Probably going a bit far, if anything. Mint, Bailey channel installed. This door I've got a little bit extra work to do. It's got nothing at all inside it. But I think with everything I've got there, a lot of miscellaneous bolts. I've got a regulator, a couple of handles, and like I said, new locks. But I reckon I'll be able to find those type of little fellas are for the windows. Like that. There's a slide there. I reckon I can piece it together. Just until, you know, maybe I find another door, because it's sort of bringing me down, that door, a little bit. And I must admit, I've been pretty lucky. I'm not actually taking the piss either. I actually have been pretty lucky. There was that many bolts and pieces in there. I've hit right down to that clip. I need one of them for that rod to go to the door handle. That's a back door one, but it had a clip on it. So I spoke too soon now, eh? I'll get 2 steps further into it and go, don't have that, don't have that. Shut up, Mike. Oh. Get in too far. Just adjusting this check strap. No, striker. That's like a brand new one. Except if you took out the brand and the new and just left the shitty. I've got to tell you, and you HQ through to WB guys will tell me if I'm right or not. I would prefer to do 10 front door glasses than 1 rear. That rear took me longer, because if you remember, the glass was in the back, not in the door. That took me longer than it's taken me to do this whole door so far. I'm not finished, so I probably shouldn't say that. But that was painful. That one's gone in a breeze. That'll all change now, won't it, Michael? Never mind, stop talking. It is the fiddly shit that takes you a long time, but... And this is definitely fiddly. I was just about to wind it down like a total stooge. Nailed it. Nailed it. Let's move on. What now? I pressure cleaned inside all of these doors, but any big chunks that didn't come out, now that they're dry, I'll vacuum out. I know I've said it before, but with that sort of thing, pressure cleaning the doors out, it's not the water that rusts them out. It's all the mud and the crap in the bottom of the door that retains the moisture and it just sits there. So by flushing everything out of the door I can, the bits that couldn't get out, the big chunks, because there's only smallish drain holes, once they're dry you vacuum out, smash it with fish oil, on with the trims. So let's get on with the trims. I'm just going to pump it with a generic fish oil. It's nothing elaborate, it's just what was on the shelf and it was cheap. You know, I just don't want it to rust. Perfect. So here's a good news story for you. Remember that one? It was really badly bowed. I sprayed the back of it with water the day I got it out of the car. It's had a tyre on it. It's probably the best one now. And I'm not kidding. Probably is the best one. So far, as I've said, I've been lucky. Only things I've found, or haven't found, is a left-hand front armrest, because that sketchy door was obviously missing or whatever, which it seems ironic I've got the door trim, but and a shifter. And that doesn't surprise me considering it might have been in the middle of a 4-speed conversion, but a shifter would have been nice. Anyhow. So I've got a new barrel to go in. So I don't actually have a key for this one, but luckily it does turn. I say luckily because I think to get these out, you've got to have them on an accessories position. I think. I'll just try it as I go. I can't quite remember, but all you're looking for, see that little black, I don't know, button hanging out there? You're just pushing that. And the way you get at it is undo your indicator post that went in there, undo your indicator mechanism, and you don't really even need to pull that out. You're just looking for, if I can do this with one hand, see down in there, see that slot there? That's where you're pushing down in there with either one of these sort of guys. Try and get in there and push it. And as that pushes that button in, it releases the barrel to come out. So I might just, from memory, they're not that hard to get out, but they do get a bit tight with sitting. So I'm just going to put some WD in there and then just wiggle that, see what position I've got to have that in. I am pretty sure it was accessories, which that'd be accessories, wouldn't it? Ignition, on, start. So yeah, accessories would be back around there. Well, it wasn't accessories. It wasn't accessories. It was actually, what would that be? Ignition, on, start. It'd be in the on position. I felt like a bit of an idiot have to count back through that, but I did. Geez, irony, I can't get the new one in. Oh no, we're away. We're away. Seems to hang out a little bit further than the old one, but we're good by the feels of that though. And I guess I'll tell you this next episode when we go to start a motor. By the feels of that, I need to adjust that column switch. Doesn't feel like it's engaging at all. Oh, it's the little jobs that take so much time. There's literally been all day just doing little jobs. But I'm about to make this little job so worthwhile. I've probably forgotten something, or there's something I'll have to do, so I'm not going to tighten it all up and fit it all up. I'm going to use the old cap because the new cap came with a GTS badge there and it shouldn't have one, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now and bang that guy back on. I'll probably have to let those door trims dry. I did pressure clean them pretty good. I'll let them dry overnight. So there's not much more we can do today. That's really what I need. Headlight surrounds, can do that. Let's do some headlight surrounds. My son and I actually paint stripped these yesterday and we didn't do too bad. But there's a couple of little marks in there. I just want to sand them out, so I'll give them a quick scuff. They've got to be black with that outer edge silver, or whatever you want to call that, tin. That day just felt like it got away from me. All the little stuff. I tell you I got the seat in. I just chucked the back seat in. I know we're still waiting on carpet. But look at the wheel and the dash looking right. Baby steps. So all the doors and that are complete on the outside. It's just the trims and headlight surrounds, and then I've got some cool decals. I'll see you in the morning. We're getting there. Morning. This terrible door trim doesn't want to cooperate. You'd think it'd be grateful. There you go. It's grateful. All of these catches and mechanisms were literally seized up. All I've done is just drowned them in WD because I don't care if it runs into the bottom of the door. It's just more rust preventative. And just keep cycling them through. Every single one of them's come back. I haven't had to replace one of them yet. Every one. You watch now, it'll lock. Alright, trim on. Oh, might be running out of clips. I'm officially out of clips. Add that to the tally of things I don't have. Next. So we're nearly there, and there's the last couple of little things I want to do, and they are only small things before we move on to the engine, but they're small things that I've thought about since the day I picked the car up, or since the day I bought the car. Let's do it. I did say they were only little things, and I'm not just winging it. I've got it marked out with pencil. The only downside I've got is my 5 litre badge didn't turn up. It can wait. It can come when the 5 litre goes in. Don't dent it. Don't dent it. I'll tell you one thing that's still bugging me. The rego papers in 2002 and 2001 said that the engine had a QR prefix. Well, you guys in the know, that's a 253. So the original engine I showed you on that certificate had a QT showing 308. What happened to it? Back in the day, I guess when they were worth nothing, I'll take a guess and say it was pulled out with the turbo 400. Probably tried to put it in a smaller car like a Tirana, go faster. That was a thing when they were worth nothing. And if you were looking to swap a manual, the turbo 400 308 had a different bolt pattern. It's a mystery. think you can put them on wet too, but all I did there was prep sole the panel. Fresh paint anyway, but I prep soled it just in case. Prep sole your hands after cleaning the interior. A lot of dimensions to this one, a lot of questions. I don't know, not our usual video, we didn't actually get anything running, but that is the inspiration I need to get into that 308. I guarantee you, hell or high water, that 308 is running next episode, one way or another. And seeing it looking like it's actually got a chance of driving down the road now. Sure, I'm waiting on bits, I need carpet and probably a parts list as long as my arm, but seeing it like that, I can now bash into that 308, spend the whole day flogging on it, in the afternoon sit down and have a beer with that thing, knowing full well it's getting one step closer every time I work on it. In actual fact, looking at it now, it makes me want to crack one early. It's not beer time, but I do want to crack one early. Oh, just happened to have one. Anyway, totally different episode, but I think I still earned it. I'll see you next time. Next time for the 308. And thanks for watching. It's amazing what happens when you figure out you're missing a bolt. Still good. It's like every time I turn the camera on, Kookaburra just goes off. Did somebody try a 4-speed conversion? Oh, that's still recording. And you wonder why old school painters are seedy characters.